Hi there. It's a pleasure to welcome you once again to this channel and to another impactful lesson that we'll be having as we begin the journey through our fourth book from Dr. Myles Munroe on the channel, titled The Principles and Power of Vision. This particular book is an important book full of lessons that can help us to have a very fulfilling life. And I am pleased to share with us what we can learn from all the chapters of the book. Today's episode, we are focusing on the preface and introduction of the book. And there are some key things that we'll highlight as we begin the journey. Now, the preface begins with an important statement. Vision is the source and hope of life. Vision is the source and hope of life. Is this something that is really true? We are hoping that as we run through the book, we'll be able to understand why vision is the source and hope of life. And it says that the greatest gift ever given to mankind is not the gift of sight, but the gift of vision. Sight is a function of the eyes. Vision is a function of the heart. Eyes that look are common, but eyes that see are rare. Nothing noble or noteworthy on earth was ever done without vision. No invention, development, or great feat was ever accomplished without the inspiring power of this mysterious source called vision. Now, the topic of vision is one that is so important, so critical, because without vision, without a sense of vision for your life, and in any area that we can think about, without vision at the center of whatever we are doing, we will not really be able to go far. Because vision is that particular element that helps us to look beyond what can be seen, to see beyond what the present circumstances are. If you have vision, then you can go beyond the current circumstances and be able to see what can be, even in the midst of all that may be happening now. And when you go to Habakkuk chapter 2, the verse 2 and 3, it gives us an important reflection about the concept or understanding that we should have of vision. And it says that the Lord answered me, write the vision, make it plain on tablets, so he may run who reads it. So it means that without a very clear vision, without making plain what you are expected to achieve, seeing what should be and making it plain, you will not be able to have other people being able to understand that vision and running with it. And so without the vision, you will not be able to make any meaningful progress. And it says that for still the vision awaits its appointed time. It hastens to the end, it will not lie. If it seems slow, wait for it. It will surely come. It will not delay. And that is one of the important reasons why vision is something that we must be able to understand and carry along, because it helps us to go through times that are challenging, to be able to overcome the struggles of life and have, the progress that we need to make. And this is something that is highlighted in one of the paragraphs of the preface. It says that vision also makes suffering and disappointment bearable. Vision generates hope in the midst of despair and provides endurance in tribulation. Vision inspires the depressed and motivates the discouraged. Without vision, life would be a study in cyclic frustration within a whirlwind of despair. Vision is the foundation of courage and the fuel of persistence. So it says that even if it tarries, wait for it, it will not tarry. When you are somebody who understands vision and has a vision for your life and every area of your life, you would realize that even when things turn out to be against what you wished it should be, you'll be able to stand strong and persevere. When the disappointments come, because you are able to see beyond what is, beyond the disappointments, beyond the failures, because you have a certain foresight, you will be able to still stand strong and then, take the necessary steps that make you outstanding. And so it says that vision is what inspired a lot of people to come up with inventions and to have that impact that generations would continue to benefit from. And it talks about how vision is what inspired the Wright brothers to invent the aeroplane. It was the vision of light. This test for something that will illuminate, that possessed Thomas Edison to invent the light bulb. It was the vision of a desk-sized computer that motivated Steve Jobs to invent the desktop computer. It was the vision of giving every person access to people-friendly software that inspired Bill Gates to develop and invent the Microsoft global empire. And the conclusion it makes in this paragraph is very key. Vision is the energy of progress. If there's no vision, if there's no vision, if there's no vision, if there's no individual who is carrying a certain vision, a visionary in any area of life, in any scope of work, progress cannot be made. Because for progress to be made, for consistent progress to be made, very valuable, productive progress to be made, there has to be a vision that is guiding and leading the path. And so vision is the energy of progress. And that is an important reason why we need vision. We need to understand it, understand the principles behind vision, and be able to tap into the power that vision can provide for our progress. And it says that our world today is in desperate need of vision. Even a casual look at the prevailing conditions in our 21st century is enough to produce fear, hopelessness, uncertainty, insecurity, emotional and social trauma, depression, disillusionment, discouragement, and despair. And there are a lot of things that are happening around us in our communities, in our workplaces, in our families. There are a lot of things that are going on in the economic, setup that many people are in despair. There's a lot of discouragement all around us. And without vision, personal vision, corporate vision, community vision, a certain sense of foresight, a certain, ability to see beyond, a certain ability to look beyond the present circumstances and forge ahead with this single mind on what can be, what should be, and what would be, we will struggle. And, we would really crumble under the pressure that our society continues to bring our way. And, the importance of vision is reflected in a certain proverb by the King Solomon, Proverbs 29, verse 18. And so it says, the wise king of Israel, Solomon, stated in his book of Proverbs, where there's no vision, the people perish. These words have been quoted and repeated by millions of people all over the world over the years because they capture the significant role vision has in our individual, corporate, and national lives. The full essence of his statement implies that when there's no revelation of the future, people throw off self-control, personal discipline, and restraint. Simply put, vision is the source of personal and corporate discipline. So, vision beyond, number one, the fact that it is the foundation of courage and the fuel of our persistence. And number two, that it is the fuel or the energy that drives progress. It is also the source of personal and corporate discipline. Without vision, as a person, you will not have the discipline to forge ahead. And so the Habakkuk 2, the verse, 2, it reminds us that we should make that vision plain on tablets so he may run who reads it. And the verse 3 says that we should wait for the vision because it has an appointed time. And so if I lack vision, then that means that I will not even be able to wait. I will not have the patience to wait. I cannot have that self-control to control my expectations and my desires when things are not going well. If I lack vision, then I will lack personal control. And within a corporate environment, within groups, where there's no vision, common vision that is leading and guiding the group, you realize that discipline will be lacking. Many people will lack restraint and will not be able to stick with the plan and the strategies that will help. There are many who have no vision for their lives and wonder how to obtain one. There are others who have a vision but are stuck in the mud of confusion, not knowing what to do next. Then there are those who had a vision but have abandoned it because of discouragement, disillusionment, some measure of failure or frustration. And it says that if you are in one of these categories, this book is the right book for you. And that is why we are reflecting and will be reflecting on the key lessons, the principles and powers and power of vision through this particular insightful book. Now, the introduction, helps us to understand what life without vision looks like. And it talks about a story in the mid 20th century where in Bangkok, Thailand, the government wanted to build a large highway through a village. And yet in the path of the planned road was a Buddhist monastery with a little chapel. So it says that they had to relocate the monastery, including a heavy 11-foot clay statue of Buddha, to another place. Now, using a crane, the workers, tried to move the monastery in sections. And when it was time to transport the statue of Buddha to the new location, they found that as they tried to lower it, the clay on the statue began to fall off. It began to crumble and fall off. Now, they were afraid because this was a particular, religious symbol that was very precious to them. And as they tried to maintain, some stability in there so that the clay that was falling off wouldn't, something amazing happened. So it says, yet the more the workers tried to place the statue, the more it fell apart until eventually all the clay was falling off. Suddenly, the workers stared in amazement because as the clay fell away, something unexpected was revealed. The statue was pure gold underneath. Before the statue was moved, people thought it was worth $50,000. Today, that golden Buddha is worth millions, and because of the story behind it, is visited by hundreds of thousands of people every year. Now, it says the story illustrates what we can see is not necessarily what really is. What we can see is not necessarily what is. And we get to learn and hear that what we see is not always all that there is. What we see, what you see in particular situations, circumstances, what you see is not always all that there is. There's always something beyond that. It takes a certain level of vision, of understanding to be able to appreciate. And it says that I believe that many of us are living as clay vessels. In reality, when we are pure gold inside, our lives do not reflect who we truly are or what we can be. And this is something that we've highlighted over the past, couple of book reflections, especially for the first book, Understanding Your Potential, and the second one, Releasing Your Potential. We have understood that God, who created us, has given us a lot of potential. In fact, Ephesians 2 verse 10 says we are God's workmanship. And there are a lot of things that God planned before our coming to earth that he wants us to achieve, he wants us to do. The impact that he wants us to make in our generation and beyond is one that we cannot even fathom. And unfortunately, while that potential is within us, many people are not able to live to the full potential that God has given them. There are a lot of, promise. There's a lot of promise in many people, but then it ends up not being fulfilled. We are living as clay, yet in reality, there's pure gold inside us. And so it helps us to see that no matter where we live, no matter who we are, there's a certain personal purpose that God has given us. And so the chapter, one of the paragraphs says that no matter who you are or what country you live in, you have a personal purpose. For every human being is born with one. God created each person with a unique vision. He has tremendous plans for you that no one else can accomplish. The tragic thing is that many people live their whole lives without ever recognizing their visions. And this is something that the book will help us to do, to be able to understand vision in its proper context and the principles that we need to apply in order to fully maximize a certain vision for our lives. It says, how do you remove the clay and uncover the gold within you? Your dreams, talents, and desires can be refined in the process of discovering and fulfilling your life's vision so that the pure gold of your unique and personal gifts to this world can shine forth. Helping you to capture and fulfill your vision is the purpose of this book. And that is where I encourage you to be part of all the episodes that we'll be having as we run through the various chapters in the book. And what it means to capture the vision for your life is explained by a story that was told by a former president of World Vision, Ted Armstrong. And so it says that Ted Armstrong, the former president of World Vision, told a story that went something like this. A little girl was on a cruise ship. She and her father were standing on the deck. It was a beautiful, clear day, and the air was crisp and fresh. The little girl, standing on tiptoe, said to her father, "I can't see anything." The father picked her up and put her on his shoulders so that she was higher than everyone else on the deck and was able to see everything around her. "Daddy," she exclaimed, "I can see further than my eyes can look." That signifies or reflects what vision is. Being able to see further than your eyes can look. The little girl statement, it says, captures the essence of vision, the ability to see further than your physical eyes can look, to see not just what is, but also what can be, and to make it a reality. Vision is a conception that is inspired by God in the heart of a human. So vision really is your ability to see further than your physical eyes can see. Having that picture of what can be, what should be, that cannot be seen physically, but you have been able to create that reality in your mind and you work towards it to bring it into fruition. It is a mental picture of your destiny, it says. Vision is seeing the future before it comes into being. Seeing the future before it comes to being. And this is something that at the individual level, corporate level, in all situations and all circumstances, all contexts, if we are able to see the future before it even comes into being, it will always help us to be a step further. And through the difficulties, through the complexities of life, we will be able to stand firm and be resilient and hold on strong and be able to run with that vision that God has placed in our hearts. And I believe that as we run through the course of the book, especially as we begin from chapter 1 in our next episode, we will learn a lot more about vision. So there are 6 key questions, among others, that the book will help us to answer. Number one, how can I know what my vision is? Number two, what do I do if I have multiple interests? Number three, what are some strategies for overcoming hindrances to my vision? Number four, how can I set the right priorities for my life? Number five, what should I do when others criticize my dream? And finally, how can I make my vision a concrete reality? And if you are interested in finding answers to these questions, just as I am, I would encourage you to join me as we run through the rest of the chapters until we come to the end. Our next episode will focus on the first chapter, and that is on the theme vision, the key to fulfilling your life's purpose. Until I meet you once again, stay safe and take care. Bye bye.